Yeah, to everyone, this is Kelvin. Welcome back. This is going to be the best of 2022 black metal episode. So let's get started. I'm going to kind of just talk about the honorable mention. So I got top 10 plus 5. I just want to talk about. So the first one is going to be Isataii. The name of the album, Invoking in Darkness. I got a chance to check this out actually when I talked with Wolfgar of Isataii. He sent me the CD, and it's the first CD that came out earlier this year, and then I believe there was also a second album that came out later this year. But I was listening to this one a lot throughout the year. It's, if you haven't heard Isataii, it's like just raw black metal, more influenced by black metal from Finland. So if you haven't heard him, check it out. All right, next, this is a Luminous Bolt, and the name of the album is Animate the Emptiness. So this isn't like a pure black metal album. It's just really interesting. I haven't heard anything quite like this in a while. This is a more like industrial, like electronic approach to like black metal. Well, I mean, just check out that artwork if you're watching the video. I believe this is their first album. They're from New York City, and this was released by Profound Lore Records, pretty much the best label for metal. So if you haven't checked it out, listen to the whole thing. It's really worth your time. All right, next. This is Tamerum, and the name of the album, Ashen Realms of Stone Icons. So this is more of a progressive, like technical black metal band. I believe they're from Atlanta, Georgia, and I believe this is their first album. So this is a really sick cover. The album artwork by the artist Marius Lewandowski. If anyone follows artists in metal, I believe this artist passed away this past year. So really sick artwork, amazing music. It kind of reminds me of the band Beyond Creation, I think mainly because they play fretless bass. But, it does kind of go into like technical death metal almost, but it's, I think it's more rooted in black metal, but very, very sick album. And then next, this is Luminal Shroud. The name of the album is All Virtues Ablaze. And this is more of like an atmospheric black metal band. I believe they're from Canada, Victoria, British Columbia. This is a really, really great album. There's only 4 tracks, but each track is pretty long. They're about, 8-10 minute songs. It's like I said, it's more like on the atmospheric side. So kind of expect like long songs with a lot of atmosphere and stuff kind of built in between sections of the music. So really great album, perfect for driving long distance, which is kind of what I do around here. I actually drove down I-40 listening to this evening. But yeah, definitely check it out. album I wanted to kind of highlight before I talk about like my top 10 favorites. This is Morbound Dawn, the name of the album, Dark Mysteries of Time and Eternity. This is a band, I believe they're from Phoenix, Arizona, which is pretty cool. The one of the members of the band plays in the Gatekeeper. This guy right here, Alexander Brown. I really like this album just because it reminds me a lot of Dissection, mainly the first Dissection album. So yeah, definitely if you dig Dissection, check out Morbound Dawn. I'm going to start talking about my top 10 favorite albums of 2022. And I'm going to start with this one. I have the vinyl if anyone's watching. It's Gaerea, and the name of the album, Mirage. I believe this is their third album. And Gaerea, they are from Portugal, and a very epic sounding, album. Gaerea, I'd say they're kind of remind me of like Behemoth, but kind of like more less theatrics that Behemoth has. I mean, these guys are masked and cloaked, but I'd say they're kind of like more of the black vinyl. I don't know. They're just more like musical and more, I guess, more technical than Behemoth. But yeah, it's really epic. I really dig, their previous album, and so I was looking forward to this album when it came out. So yeah, definitely check out Gaerea. This is going to be if I'm counting down, album 9, and it's Pure Wrath. The name of the album, Hymn to the Woeful Hearts. This is a pretty sweet album. It's here, I'll show off the artwork. It's a one-man black metal project out of Indonesia, and I would say this is a kind of a raw album. There's no like synthesizers. There's no like, electronic stuff. It's just pure like black metal. It's pretty catchy too. I kind of looked into the album a little bit. It's like a concept album if you look into the lyrics, and the kind of like the story with the album is it's about the Indonesian genocide that took place in 1965. So if you dig deep into the album, that's kind of like the background. And then the album cover is supposed to depict a woman. The woman's home is getting destroyed, during that genocide. And I think the album kind of follows a woman who's kind of like suffering through that. It's really cool. It's really catchy. Definitely check it out. And then the next one, number 8. This is Suspian, and the name of the album is Colors of Fate. And I'll show off the album. This is probably my favorite, like one of my favorite album arts of the year, just because I think for me, anything with like DNA or like human anatomy, I'm like just a huge fan of. So yeah, like the artwork, probably the best out of all the albums I've listened to this year. I don't know who the artist is. I guess I can probably find it. The artist of this badass piece is Adam Burke. And then the vinyl is pretty sick too. It's like super colorful. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like collecting the vinyl, especially if the artwork is fucking sick. The music itself, it's I guess you could call it like dissonant black metal. It's kind of got like a very kind of like just dissonant guitar sound, and yeah, it's just super heavy. It's kind of more blackened death metal, but yeah, I believe they're from Lithuania, and then I think they share a member or a few members of the band Crypts of Despair, which I highlighted them I think last year. That was the Crypts of Despair album last year, was like one of my favorites. So it's that was one of the main reasons I checked them out, just because they share members of that band. But it's like super heavy, like blackened death metal. So yeah, definitely check it out. This is going to be 7, my 7th favorite album. So this is going to be Devil Master, and the name of the album, Ecstasies of Never Ending Light. This is just a fun album, like probably like out of all these albums, just the one that to me is just like super fun, and like it's black metal, but it's more kind of like coming from like hardcore and punk. The band, I believe this is their 2nd full-length album, and it's kind of got like a gothic rock influence as well. Like you definitely hear it like in the some of the vocals, the vocal style, and then they kind of have like a almost like a rock, goth rock tempo to their music. And one thing that's, probably the coolest thing about this album is that they recruited Power Trisol. He plays drums on this album. So yeah, it's like super, super fun, super catchy. Yeah, I highly recommend that album. And I'll play a quick clip here. All right, next, this is going to be number 6. I don't have the vinyl, but I do have the CD. It's Mortal Thrall. The title is Path to Fire. And this album, actually, it got emailed to me. The digital copy got emailed to me, during the summer. And I was just like blown away by the artwork too. Like the artwork caught my eye. I looked into it. It's telling a story of a woman getting burned during like the Spanish Inquisition, and I think if you look into the booklet too, that tells like each song tells a story of a woman, I guess, being like persecuted for not obeying the Catholic Church during this Inquisition. And it's about a person named Maria Dolores Lopez. Not too familiar with the history of that, but yeah, just admire the artwork. The music it's more kind of like blackened, like shoegaze. It's very atmospheric as well. Yeah, it's just like a super catchy album. I really, really enjoyed this. Yeah, I dig a lot of bands that have that black and shoegaze sound, like some of the old Death Heaven stuff. But yeah, it's super good. Every song is like, I feel like one song leads to the next song. It's all like a fully it's just like a full album. So yeah, check out Mortal Thrall. And then number 5, this is White Ward. The name of the album, False Light. So White Ward, they're band from the Ukraine. This is the first time I checked them out, but they've been around for a while, and this is like I guess you could call it like experimental, like avant-garde, black metal. There's a lot of stuff going on. Here's the vinyl. The main thing that they have within this album is a lot of like jazz. Like it's sounds kind of weird, but like there's like saxophones, there's like there's horns and like, you know, just piano, and then there's also like some like gothic vocals throughout the album. So it's way out there. There's just a bunch of influences that I haven't heard within black metal. And then the fact that they're from the Ukraine, you know, they're, you know, making, you know, amazing music while they're, you know, getting fucking bombed by the Russian army. So yeah, like fucking like amazing that they're able to do that with all that shit that's going on with their country this year. But yeah, check out White Ward. Next is going to be Nechochwen, Canal Black. This would be my 4th on the list. And yeah, Canal Black, it's I believe it's the 4th album from Nechochwen. And if anyone's gone and like looked back into this early discography of Nechochwen, this is probably their heaviest, because a lot of the first Nechochwen albums were just like purely instrumental. Because the main songwriter, his name's like Aaron Carey. He's like a classical guitarist, but grew up playing like, you know, death metal and black metal. But yeah, this album compared to all their previous, it's probably the heaviest and the fastest. You know, the album starts out with kind of like a pretty fast like black metal track, and then I think the next 3 songs it kind of like pulls back. You know, there's like some acoustic, almost like folk songs, and then the album kind of slowly builds back up, and kind of there's one song. Oh shit! I think it's the 4th track, "Cure for the Winter Plagues." It's almost like doom. Like it's really cool. And then yeah, just the rest of the album just kind of blazes, and then yeah, it just finishes off with the last track as it just like the way the album started. So with Nechochwen, I really like them just because they remind me of the band like Agalok. You know, Agalok, they're like this kind of like folky black metal. I believe they broke up like I think like 2014, but yeah, Agalok left, and then yeah, Nechochwen kind of just, you know, reminds me of them. So yeah, definitely check out Nechochwen if you're a fan of like Agalok or Wolves Within Thrall. And then my 3rd favorite album in the black metal category. Sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. It's this album, Celeste, and the name of the album is Assassins. Yeah, this is my first time hearing. I heard of Celeste this earlier this year. So here's the vinyl. It's really very intricate, very artistic photography. But the music, oh, you got to see the vinyl. The vinyl is fucking amazing. It's like a clear vinyl with a black splatter and like a gold, like almost like an egg yolk shaped. But anyway, enough of the vinyl porn. The music, it's fucking heavy. Like they're from France, so I looked into them a little bit. They started out as like a hardcore band, and then kind of slowly started evolving, or started slowly incorporating like more like black metal influence. And the band that they remind me the most of is Gojira. Like just their riffs, oh man, they remind me of like, when I first heard Gojira, like whatever, like 15 years ago. And then like, yeah, just having that black metal atmosphere, black metal vocals, it really just yeah, it just sounds like something I haven't heard in a while. Not since like, there was a band called like Numenorian that like, broke up recently. So um kind of like takes that sound and then just makes it heavier. And it's yeah, just super badass album. Probably could have been my favorite album of the year, but actually these last three probably could have easily been my favorite album of the year for like black metal. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Celeste, yeah, you definitely check it out. Like just pick a song, like any song, and it's just gonna fucking like, like bang your head. This is the number two. This is Vital Spirit. The name of the album, Still as the Night, Cold as the Wind. And this is cool. I asked the band to autograph it, and it's two members, so there's like the two signatures of the two guys in the band, and that's Kyle Tavares and Israel Langhas. But yeah, this was like very, very much anticipated when I heard that this was going to be released this year, and it's the gold vinyl. I was a huge fan of their EP that came out in 2020. Their EP In Fate That Looks Through Death, and yeah, Vital Spirit. They just kind of got their own thing going. There's a couple bands though, actually, since this band here, Wayfarer, kind of started kind of incorporating like Western, kind of like Western movie sounds. Notably like I don't know, I'm not good with the instruments, but yeah, just think of like a Western movie and the soundtrack to those movies. It's kind of got that vibe. And yeah, actually I think Vital Spirit probably does it the best. And the album is just like pure black metal. It's yeah, some of my favorites though. Dawn of Liberty, The Long Walk, White Eyes, Lord of the Plains. Yeah, these are just super like fast black metal tracks. And the lyrical content, they kind of pull like from like American Western history. And I think there's the song Dawn of Liberty is about like the Taos Pueblo revolt, and then The Long Walk is about like, just Navajo history with The Long Walk. So just a lot of stuff, in that album, the music, the lyrics, the artwork, like everything about this album just, makes it a well-rounded album. And could have easily been like top, but yeah, check it out. And then this is my favorite album of the year. I got the CD, the disc. It's Blackbraid Blackbraid I, the full length album, and the disc artwork is fucking sick. So Blackbraid just kind of blew up like earlier this year. He put out just a single song. I think he put out the Barefoot Ghost Dance on Blood Soaked Soil, and that song just fucking took off. And yeah, he like just, built a name and a reputation, just off that one song. And yeah, I was like lucky enough to talk with him and did an interview with him, and it was just like cool just to hear how he kind of like just built this project and into what it is now. And he's got like worldwide like recognition, and I don't know, it's just amazing, especially from Native American like artists. It's just so cool to see that. And the album itself is amazing. There's about 4 full tracks. They're pretty long tracks, and then there's like some instrumental sections. But yeah, it's just super, like, it's just heavy. Like I always described it as like it reminds me of like Dark Funeral, just super heavy, like Swedish, like Norwegian black metal. But then there's also that like atmospheric and yeah, just that calm, like atmospheric aspect of the album too, which it kind of like balances the two. Like, you got super heavy, but then you also got a super kind of like chill and calmed atmosphere sound. But yeah, it's amazing. It's like, probably yeah, for sure my favorite black metal album of the year. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, yeah, definitely stream it or pick up a copy. I believe the vinyl copies are being shipped, and so I'm gonna hopefully get one of those. And yeah, probably just like display it like that. But yeah, that's my best of 2022 like black metal albums. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to do one for black death metal. But man, that there are so many like death metal albums, like I'm still trying to like narrow it down. But I'm definitely gonna do that. And but yeah, thanks for checking this out. Yeah.